Welcome back, everybody, to the NBA 2K25 expansion series with the Mexico City Aztecs. We're in year 3, and this year began with a very different start than I had really imagined for this team, especially coming off of that big victory over the Chicago Bulls, who are right now 13-5. Right here, you can see that we're obviously 5-16 after about a full month of play. We have only won on Saturdays since that win against the Bulls. We have lost every other game. John Cobb has taken over the top scoring spot for the offense, shooting 45% right now when he shot 40% a year ago. Naz Reid is down to below 18 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and has only shot 45%, which is kind of low for a power forward or a center, which are his two main positions. We have seen 4th overall pick and point guard David Dennis put at 15-7 so far, and he has shot about 41%. But the real story of the year so far has been Okoro having a steep drop-off in scoring production and a big drop-off for pretty much the entire bench outside of Terry Rozier. A couple of guys have pulled their numbers up recently, like Josh Green up to 44-45% shooting. But Anderson at 33%, Steven Adams 40% for a big man. That was a one game though. Gary Trent and Grant Williams have not been good for us though, so I do foresee a change coming on the bench for this team at least at some point soon. We did of course adjust our playbook. We changed it from the Hawks and Cavs playbook back to the playbook that we used a year ago, which is the Nets playbook. This playbook does create open shots that we have seen in almost every game last year with John Cobb, and I think this gives us a better chance to see what our backcourt duo can do, and hopefully we'll get Naz Reid more involved as well. I do want to make one quick change to our tendencies, though. I don't usually adjust these that much, but I will make one change, and that is going to be for the touch tendency. Right now, if we sort by it, Cobb has the highest, Dennis only 73. I would like Cobb and Dennis to both have over 90 on this because that will obviously give them the ball a whole lot more. And if we're going to rely on this backcourt to lead this team into the future, then they need the ball a lot more. And as a point guard, I think Dennis could value from touching the rock to get more assists as well in his rookie season. So we're going to bump these up for both players by probably like 5 or 6 for Cobb. He needs to be the focal point of the offense right now. So we'll make his 95 and we'll make Dennis's around 90 for now. And we'll go from there and adjust as we see fit. I think I'll bump Naz Reid's up a little bit as well to around 80, but we'll keep everybody else where they're at. Now talking more about John Cobb. He is only 22 years old. Most players don't really peak until they're 25 or 26. We don't know what his peak start age is on his vitals right now, but he progressed by 6 overall points between last year and this year, from a 71-72 to a 78 overall. Gained no badges, but I do think that because he went up by so much in terms of shooting, that he needs the ball more, so this is the goal, is to feed John Cobb, and even though he's been kind of bad from behind the arc, I think that is related to our playbook not being very good for creating open shots behind the arc. So hopefully this will help John Cobb out and get him better, more open looks, and we'll get him the ball more, because even though it's only year 2 for Cobb, I think he should have a pretty big uptick in terms of point production compared to last season. We simmed through 3 weeks up to this game against Dion York and the Utah Jazz, and we have fallen even further below 500, winning 2 of those 7 games, starting with a win against the Nuggets. We had a 3-game win streak here coming off that game against Portland last episode. We had 34 from John Cobb here in this game, 11 for 23 shooting. Dennis was 5 for 20, 0 for 9 behind the arc. Rough day for him shooting-wise, while Jokic drops 30, 14, and 7. We blew out the Raptors on the second leg of this back-to-back. RJ Barrett, 26. Wiseman, 21-9, with Dennis, Cobb, Rozier, and more players in double figures. Good to see both of those young backcourt players show up here in this one as Nasri drops a triple, or a double-double rather, in this one. But then we got absolutely blown out by the Thunder, who are one of the best teams in the league this year. 42 for Shea, 25 and 20 for Holmgren and Topic. 16 for Dennis led the way for us, but we are seeing some of our players have some pretty rough shooting days. We then lost a game against the Nuggets a couple days later. 39 for Jokic. Continues to pour on the points when he faces the Aztecs this year. And we had nobody at 20 points or higher. Against the Rockets and number 1 overall pick Frank Bauer, we allowed 26 or more to 3 players. Defense has still been easily the weakest part of this team. We only put up 15 points and get outscored by 24 in the fourth quarter to lose by that much. Despite 21 from David Dennis, we get smoked here. We also lost a close one against the 7-21 Hornets, same record as we have. 26 for LaMelo, 21 for Brandon Miller, and 21 for Nick Smith Jr. And once again, the offense just seems to be lacking for a lot of our players. It's been a week since our last game, but it was a loss against the Phoenix Suns, who have had our number both this year and last year. 24 for Dennis, 19 for Cobb, and only 2 other players in double figures. 33 for KD, 28 for Devin Booker, and 22 for Quentin Grimes off of the bench. Impressive day for him. And now we got to face the Utah Jazz, who come in at 10-18, with Deion York leading the way. Taking a look at the rookie report, David Dennis still around 41% shooting, but he is averaging over 15 points per game now, 6.9 assists per game. Frank Bauer, about 15, 5 and 5, so he's going to be like a triple-double threat. Give it just like 1 or 2 more years, and he will be kind of a Jokic-level player down there in the post, but he's still playing behind Alperen Şengün, so his playing time is kind of low compared to some other rookies like Law here, who is starting for the Heat. He has played every game so far this year and has averaged 12.6 points per game, 4.7 assists, shooting about the same as David Dennis is. Deion York has already blossomed into a go-to offensive player for the Jazz. He is starting every game, putting up 25 and 9 a game, a huge upgrade from what he was doing last year alongside Lauri Markkanen, and he's shooting way better too. 40% behind the arc, 51% from the field, in about 33 minutes per game. Very impressed by him. Considering how poorly some guys are playing, I'm probably going to make a couple of adjustments to our lineup here. Rozier is shooting 45%, about where he was shooting last year. He's been better from 3 compared to last year. So I think I'm prepared to take off a lot of Gary Trent's minutes and all of Anderson's minutes and just give those to Rozier. So we'll bump Trent down to about 12. We'll bump Rozier up to 24 for now. And we'll bench Anderson because he shot like 34% this year. That's just not going to be good enough. I'm also going to take out Grant Williams and put in Najee Marshall, who is a similar overall. Hopefully he can give us some better offense, defense, and rebounding at power forward. So here we go in an NBA Cup matchup against the Utah Jazz here in Salt Lake City. They are 10-18. We are 7-21, two kind of bottom feeder teams here in the Western Conference. We are at 15. They are currently at 12, a couple spots away from a play-in tournament position. But we come in, again, desperate for a victory. And it is Saturday once again, so we have seen that trend continue here. Can we get another Saturday victory here on the year? Utah in black, Aztecs in white. Here we go on the road. Tip-off is officially underway here in Utah. This court looks actually pretty slick, not gonna lie. But they go right to Lauri Markkanen down low for a very quick bucket. 15 points per game, 6 rebounds per game this year so far for Markkanen. York has kind of overtaken him for their #1 scoring player. Off the screen, Okoro lets it fly from behind the arc and will put us right back in the lead. Keontae George with it. Finds York. Deep triple. That one rattles out. So I want to see York be more involved here for Utah after he barely touched the ball in our last matchup a year ago when he was a rookie. Cobb fading away from the elbow. Can't get it to go as Stewart pulls down the miss. So a new starter in for Utah as well as York turns the ball over. Dennis picks up that steal. It goes the other way. Naz Reid calling for it down low. He fades away off a double team but can't connect. Good little crossover there, and Markkanen buries the triple. Wide open look. Naz Reid in response. Nothing but nylon. And a bad screen set by Timothy Stewart gives it right back to the Aztecs. David Dennis steps into some open space but cannot hit from downtown. Keontae George blows by Williams but can't lay it in. John Cobb comes in for the rebound. Dennis takes his time, fires again, but is now 0 for 2 from downtown. Mismatch, low block for Lauri Markkanen. Mark Williams comes over to help. Still a double team. Good pass out. York has a hand in his face, and his shot's no good as Williams pulls down that miss. Dennis catch and shoots, and now a third straight miss from behind the arc. Screen set by York. George. Back to the corner. Wide open three for Markkanen. That one does not drop in. Lobbing it for Dennis, and that goes off his hands. He gets it back and flips it up and in. Timeout Utah, trailing by 3. Inside, Okoro matched up on Markkanen now. He's playing small forward with York at the power forward spot, and Stewart playing center, so might have a mismatch there defensively as Malik Monk drives but can't hit. Good cut by Okoro, readjusting at the rim and fouled by Timothy Stewart. First foul against either team in this one. First free throw up and good. Okoro looking to get back on track after a slow start to his year. He shot like 56% a year ago and has shot only 43% to start this season. Hoping for him to pull himself up by his bootstraps and turn things around. Behind the arc, a lot of threes rattled off by Lauri Markkanen here in the first quarter, and so far, it's worked out pretty well. Double screen set up. Dennis hands it off. Reid inside, lost it out of bounds. Screen set for Bryce Sensabaugh, who's just checked in for the Jazz. He shakes off Cobb and scores. We are all tied up at 10. Dennis rattles off a deep triple. And again, yet to hit from downtown now. 4 shots, none have gone. High ball screen set. George into a jump shot. That one is nothing but net. Timeout Aztecs. Starting 5 still in there for Mexico City as Naz Reid throws up a shot over Taylor Hendricks, but it will not go. Markkanen trying to push the tempo. Left it short. It goes off the backboard and is recovered by Okoro. John Cobb finally takes a shot again, and this time he drains it behind the arc. His second shot goes up and through, and the Aztecs retake the early lead. York lost his dribble, shrugs off Mark Williams. Markkanen grabs the miss. Taylor Hendricks puts in the second chance triple. On forward inside. Naz Reid will try again on Hendricks and once again misses. His last 5 games, he has been way worse, putting up like 11 points per game. As Okoro rattles off a triple, the assist to Cobb after a steal on the defensive side of the ball. Hendricks behind the arc, no good. He's now 1 for 2. Screen set by Naz Reid. Cobb hop steps and finishes through the contact. Lobbing it over the top to Lauri Markkanen for the buckets. Utah trails by 1 here after our second timeout is used with 3:49 to go in the first. Rozier now in the game as he lobs it for Naz Reid on the alley-oop. Oh, man. Fantastic play call right there. It leads to a bucket, and we lead 20 points to 17. Hoping for the backups to give us some life here offensively. Yeah, that's a pretty bad miss by Keontae George. Josh Green reversing and throwing it down. Okay. Trying to see if Josh Green can just be more efficient from the field. He was off to a slow start, but has kind of picked things up these last couple of weeks. So has Gary Trent. So we'll see what these guys can do for us. York's still in for Utah. He'll pass out of this one. Keontae George drives, gets by Rozier, and lays it in for 2. Rozier stepping back, nearly got the triple to go. He's going to be at the line with 3 free throw attempts off that foul by Keontae George. 88% at the line this year. That has been a spot of need for us free throw shooting coming off last season. And the first 2 are up and good. Rozier, 3 for 3. Top of the key, screen set for Sensabaugh. Back to Hendricks, has to shoot. Offline. Nice handoff into a 3 that's no good from Naz Reid. Utah pushes the tempo. Hendricks is fouled on the other end. It's the first against Naz. Naz Reid at 96% at the line these last 10 games, which leads the NBA during that span. He's been a fantastic free throw shooter, I guess, this season, as Najee Marshall is now in for the Aztecs. Our first time seeing him on the court at all this year. Rolling to the rim, Wiseman readjusts but left it short. Good defense down low by Kyle Filipowski, who's getting some pretty good playing time this year for the Jazz. Eyeball screen set. Markkanen has a mismatch. Reverse layup will go against Josh Green. Playing Markkanen at the 3 spot is just going to result in mismatches galore against a lot of teams, including us. Shot clock winding down. Trent's going to have to create something here. He does not even bother trying to make the shot easier for himself. That's just a wasted possession right there. Crawford with it. Nearly had it stolen. Sensabaugh's triple is well contested. Final play of the first quarter. Rozier pumps and can't connect from downtown. And we lead 25-23. Pretty cold ending to the quarter for both teams. But we're still in front through 1. Start of the second quarter got Rozier, Trent, Wiseman, Marshall, and Cobb out there as James Wiseman misses at the rim. And we saw this last time against Utah. Pretty poor finishing at the hoop for the Aztecs offense. Screen set by Filipowski. Josh Primo spins, pumps back out, open triple. Good from Sensabaugh. And Utah jumps back in front. Off the screen, Rozier lets it fly, but can't sink it. Filipowski gets it in the post. Good cross-court pass. The extra one to Sensabaugh. He's got 2 triples in a row. Cobb gets it. Trent, another triple attempt. That one is absolutely drilled. Time winding down. Primo jacks one up. Back iron. Cobb has it, handing off to Rozier. Getting inside, drawing the foul, and the bucket will count. They tried to draw a charge. It does not work out, and Rozier has a 3-point play on his hands. As Josh Green checks in, Cobb checks out. Little pick and pop here. Markkanen going right into Green. The bucket will go. Josh Green called for his second foul. And now a free throw attempt for Lauri Markkanen could cap off this three-point play to put Utah back in the lead. And it does. Dennis and Cobb both back in for Mexico City as we trail by 1. Cobb with it. Now back out to Dennis. Screen comes up from Wiseman. Dennis will fire. Shot no good. Wiseman pulls down the miss. And we go back to a 14-second shot clock. Dennis behind the arc still has yet to find his rhythm from downtown. Filipowski the screen. Monk steps back and hits. High ball screen. Over the top fade. Wiseman with the flush. Clock under 5. George. No good at the top of the key. Screen set. Okoro hesitates, gets downhill, and draws the foul on Markkanen, his first. The offense has definitely been pretty slow, but it's been the case for both teams as Okoro will miss the front end. Rozier back in the game. Dennis stays in, so Rozier at shooting guard for now, and Okoro will tie things up at 34. Double team comes. George picked up well by Rozier. Shot clock counting down. Monk can't hit from the corner. On the fast break, Rozier. No good from downtown. Our threes have not been accurate so far. What a lob. He just scooped that one all the way up to the rim. And Lauri Markkanen's got 17 points, but he's just too big to play the 3 spot. Now we lob it. Dennis. One-handed stuff off the feed from... Was that Naz Reid making that pass? Yes, it was. We're tied again at 36. Markkanen. Spins. Drives. Defender comes over. And it's going to be a late shot clock shot for Deion York. Stuffed by Wiseman. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Utah, but 0.3 on the clock. This will likely be a shot clock violation for the Jazz. Mark Williams back in for the Aztecs. Sends a ball to inbound. And they cannot get that shot off in time. Williams a screen. Dennis. Another miss, man. His threes have mostly been wide open, but he has not connected on any shot from downtown so far. Now York takes advantage on the other end. It's been a quiet offensive game for him, but he does score there to put Utah back in the lead. Top of the key. Rozier. Stutter steps. Back out to Dennis. 7th try. Finally, he wets it. York. Thought about fading away. Hands off to Monk instead. The layup won't go, but a foul is called against Rozier. Neither offense yet to get on a hot streak in this one. It's been kind of a stinker if I say so myself, but hoping for our team to get things together here as we now trail once again. Williams the screen. Rozier makes a good pass on the cut, and Williams is on the board for just the second time here tonight. And now York gets inside for the deuce. 16 shots have fallen for Utah, 14 have fallen for us. Been a pretty slow-paced game as well here in the first half. Reed floats it. Williams, bucket and one. The first against Deion York, third against Utah. And the free throw is off. Quick three for Keontae George, and that will put Utah in the lead again. We have been trading leads back and forth all first half long, and their threes have been way better than ours. Dennis with it on the pick and roll, going right back to Mark Williams, time and time again. Mid-range jumper, a lot of space, and too much of it for Keontae George. Good handoff. Now a good pass to Naz Reid, but his shot won't go. He has been locked up so far by Taylor Hendricks. Now Monk finds York on the roll. Williams got the stop, but York got his own rebound back. And we have lost that battle so far, to my surprise. Second chance points at the line now for Deion York. With 2 minutes to go here in the first half, John Cobb is back in for the rest of it. Double screen set, Rozier into a three, finally got one to go. And now it's Keontae George lacing one from deep, man. He has found his stride here in this second quarter, and again, they've had a lot of open looks. Reid squares one out, but can't respond. You gotta hit those. Mark Williams pulls down the offensive rebound, though. Rozier, second try, unable to get two in a row. You've had plenty of open chances, just cannot knock down the threes for some reason, man. They've been good looks. Deion York can't hit either. Fading away over York. Reid finally gets back on track here. Now they float it over Josh Green, a bucket and a foul. We cannot guard this guy to save our lives. The cheat code. But he misses the free throw. Najee Marshall pulls it down. Marshall has a lane right to the rack. Nobody steps up for Utah. Coming off a couple of off-ball screens, Malik Monk catch and shoot triple. It is good, man. They are killing us from downtown. 8 for 19. We're 7 for 22. Final shot of the half for Mexico City. It's Josh Green blowing by Larry Markkanen for the deuce. And that will send us to halftime, trailing 57-54. Defensive work to be done against Markkanen here, but the offense did have a better second quarter. I can't complain there. All right, the third quarter begins. Mexico City trails by only 3 points. Pretty back and forth affair as Okoro has that one denied by Timothy Stewart. Malik Monk on the other end has it, going right after John Cobb with the bucket and the foul. It's been a quiet day for Cobb. The goal was to feed him. So far, it has not worked. He's barely shot the ball. And now he allows the and one here to Malik Monk to open the second half. The free throw will push their lead to 6. Cobb, open look behind the arc. He drains it. Get this guy the rock every possession, please. Markkanen's got it down low to Stewart right below the rim. Mark Williams gets the stop down low. Reid's got it down low, backing down York. And getting the foul called against him as well. Free throws could cut it back to a 1-point game if Naz Reid keeps up his free throw hot streak. Again, he shot over 95% these last 10 games at the line, and he goes a perfect 2 for 2 here. Catch and shoot. Keontae George off the mark. Screen comes up. Okoro gets downhill, driving on Markkanen, blocked again by Stewart. The crowd is loud here in Salt Lake City. Malik Monk out to Keontae George. Time winding down on the shot clock. George back to York. Has to shoot. No good. Williams grabs the board, but Okoro's called for a loose ball foul. It will stay with Utah. High ball screen set. Stewart rolls. Williams blocks that one. A taste of his own medicine. Naz read the screen. Okoro finds space and rattles in a triple. Aztecs take the lead. An 8-0 run these last 2 minutes. Strong start to the opening quarter of the second half. Malik Monk, though, fires a triple, but that one's not going to drop in. Now some boos coming in from the crowd. As we turn the ball over, Stewart has become a defensive menace this quarter out of nowhere. 2 blocks, now a steal. He sets the screen. Malik Monk facing off against John Cobb, trying to bide some time. George has to shoot, and Cobb flies in for the rebound. Markkanen blocks the shot. York finds him for the mid-range jumper. He connects. We are tied at 62. 21 for Lauri Markkanen. Still want some more touches for John Cobb here. He has only taken 1 shot here in the quarter as Okoro lets it fly but can't sink it. And Utah looking to retake the lead here in this possession. Stewart goes right at Reed and left it short, but it's because he was fouled. Already our third of the third quarter. And Stewart knocks in the first one to put the Jazz in front once again. And he will split them here. 1-point lead for Utah. Got a mismatch somewhere with York guarding Dennis. Can we find the mismatch? Reed catches, fires, and hits finally from downtown. Strong drive by Markkanen. His finish won't go. Okoro picks up the stop. Inside to Mark Williams. He pumps, slips by Stewart in for 2. Might be our biggest lead since the first quarter. York. No good from downtown. Let's take advantage now. Increase this run. York is 2 for 10 shooting. We lob it over the top. Mark Williams spins midair for the jam. David Dennis picks up the assist. The offense is playing pretty well to open this third quarter, guys. But we have a 6-point lead because of it. Over Cobb. Malik Monk will get their offense back on track. Okoro leaves it for Cobb. Monk's right there. Williams called, or draws rather, the foul. The third on Timothy Stewart. Front end good from Williams. Sensabaugh in for Monk for the Jazz. Mark Williams 5 for 5 from the field. And the free throws are both good. Stewart. Out to Sensabaugh. Dennis gets there late, and we have to pay the price. From the corner, Okoro backdoor to Williams. His hot streak continues. 14 points, has yet to miss a shot. Top of the key with York. Out to Markkanen for a triple. This guy has been electric. Mark Williams sets the screen. Okoro floats it back to him. Stewart picks up his 4th foul. More free throw attempts for Mark Williams. First one will drop. Okoro checks out. Gary Trent checks in. And Williams splits these ones. They go quick. Up to Hendricks. That's too easy, man. We jump ahead now. 7:05 to go in regulation. Aztecs still in front by 2 points. It's quite the battle here, but Rozier hits the hoop and the harm to go.
Second personal foul. Second team foul.
The cap off the play. The free throw drops in. The lead extends to 5. Still want to get Kyle more involved. That's been the goal again of the episode, but so far that has not really been the case. It's been a lot of shots for Dennis, Nas, Reed, and Rozier here. But Cobb is out there to close the rest of this game. Rozier playing some solid defense on Sensabaugh so far. Utah has to find a shot. That's well contested and no good. Time counting down for the Aztecs now. Nas Reed just lets it rip. The 3 won't go. Screen sets. Sensabaugh squares one up, and the shot will eventually find its way through the net. Cobb, a foot inside the yard. Can't connect on that mid-range jumper. For the lead. No good from Markkanen, thank God. That was a wide open shot. 5 to play here in the 4th. Aztecs have their shot clock trailing to 0 as Rozier pulls up. And it's not going to go. Up to Stewart. Out to Sensabaugh. Stewart's. Finds York on the cuts. We are tied at 96 again. Rozier whips it inside. Mark Williams with his first miss of the night. That was a pretty tough one, too. Utah looking to retake the lead here with just over 4 to play. Hendricks can't drill it. Cobb pulls down the miss. 3-on-2. Rozier open look. Aztecs in front. Timeout Jazz. Dennis back in for the Aztecs. George back in for Utah. It is a 1-possession game. Any team can come out on top. Markkanen for the lead. This time he connects. High ball screen sets awkwardly by Williams. He still rolls. Got Stewart up in the air, but has to pass out. And Dennis had a really tough shot. We need to stop right here. Off-ball movement for Keontae George. Good defense right here as we nearly stole it. Stewart's no good, and we do get the rebounds. Pulled in by John Cobb off the tip. A bucket here is crucial. Who do we go to down the stretch to Willis to a win? Cobb to Williams, and he misses once more. Uh-oh, that's a good look, but George misses the trifecta. All right, guys, lock this down. Find a good shot. Cobb throws it up. No good, but Williams puts it back in. Going to work down low. Fading away. A Markkanen front rims it. Another board for John Cobb. A bucket here can push our lead to 3 or 4 as Cobb right into Monk gets the and one. We have seen John Cobb time and time again make big shots late in games like this. And the free throw is good as well. Clutch Cobb strikes again. But this game's not over. That's going to be a turnover. They tried to lob it for Markkanen. Cobb steps back. This time it's no good. The door is still open for Utah. Stewart comes up for the screen. George drives. Good defense by Cobb, but he nearly got it back in. It's no good. Both shots rim out for Keontae George. Under a minute left to play. Just take care of the ball. Take a smart shot. Dennis with the dagger. The backcourt steps up late. 7-point lead for Mexico City. "50 seconds left to play. Does Utah have a really quick comeback in store?" Stewart has to go fast, and he is going to draw the third foul against Mark Williams. First one is going to rattle itself in. And Timothy Stewart goes 2 for 2. Cobb is doubled, has to throw it across. They keep doubling up. Williams down low with the statement jam. This one might be over. The Aztecs storm into Utah and take this one 110-103. We have won every showcase game this year. That is responsible for just under half of our total wins on the year. But what a win that was. The backcourt steps up late, and we win our 8th game of the season. In showcase games, the Aztecs continue to play strong fourth quarters. Another Saturday win for Mexico City as Rozier pours in 22 and 6 off of the bench. Mark Williams, player of the game, 19 points, 14 rebounds. The backcourt combines for 30 points for our starters at least. 3 steals for John Cobb, 7 boards, 4 assists. Stuff in the stat sheet here. Still want to get him more looks, but there was a pretty healthy volume of shots for about 5 different players taking 10 or more. That's a pretty good balance right there. I'd have liked him to take a few more shots when he's actually out there on the court. He only took 13 here. There were 16 for Rozier and 8 less minutes of game time, so there's an example of kind of too many shots for one player. But Dennis was not very good from 3. He misses first, I think, 7 or so threes, and then finally got back on track late in the game. And despite 29 from Lauri Markkanen and 19 from Keontae George, we come out on top after trading leads back and forth the entire game. Rebounds end up being pretty even across the board, but Jazz do beat us by 2 overall in that regard. Threes were even at 14 for 40 for both squads. Free throws, pretty even. And we did actually win the points in the paint battle. And I think you take that alongside your bench points, outscoring theirs by 11. If both point guards stay healthy, I do want to see a David Dennis versus Will McBride matchup in our next game on the road against the Lakers in the middle of January. So we'll probably sim up to there to start next episode, and then we'll probably get our first look at the draft class. I'll give you a quick preview of what things look like here. You have a couple of really solid, like B- overall players, a handful of C+ guys, and then it goes off to C's and C- the rest of the way. The mock drafts as of right now have us with the second best odds to get the first overall pick. The Jazz actually are in front of us somehow, despite having, I guess it's because they have the Lakers pick, who are currently the worst team in the NBA, but we are still one of the worst. If things continue along this trend, I doubt I make a trade to go after better bench players until we get to our next offseason, just because it makes no sense to improve your bench midway through a year when you're vying for a top 3 selection. So we're just going to probably rock with our team if things don't pick up soon. And I would like a top 3 pick because there are 2 really good centers here that are supposed to go in the top 3 to top 6 players. Those are Dion Houston, who has a Nate Thurmond All-NBA ceiling, 7'2" out of Arizona State, 19 years old. And then you also have Kylan Moore from Duke, who has a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Hall of Fame ceiling plus a floor of Bob McAdoo. I think he would be a perfect long-term player for us if we want to look at center and replace James Wiseman off the bench and potentially, work with Kylan Moore for a couple years as he looks to overtake Mark Williams as the starter. That's, again, if we get that top 3 pick and if he is available with our pick in our next draft. But that is a preview. We'll get a good look at those prospects hopefully next episode, guys. What do you think so far? Should we make a trade for a better backup off the bench, or should we just rock with our squad, see if things get better, and then go from there? Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and leave your feedback down below. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and have a great day.